guys, welcome back to Discussions with your host Desmond. This will be episode 3. This is gonna be the guy that I'm bringing on today. He's not only an entrepreneur, former professional basketball player, East Duplin High School legend, E&T alumni, and my uncle, of course. Y'all will know him as James Miller. I know him as Uncle JJ.
What's up, man?
What's up? How you doing?
Good, man. Good. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Well, Uncle JJ, I know what you've been through, but let everybody else know who you are, what have you done, and all that kind of stuff too. So.
All right. Yeah. No. First of all, man, it's an honor to be up here. Thanks for having me. So I am, I guess, a son of God, a husband, a father, businessman, entrepreneur. I am a community activist, and just a guy who is living out my dreams every day. You know what I'm saying? So which is really cool given where I came from. I grew up in a small town, as you know, Chinquapin, North Carolina, which is in Wallace, North Carolina, which is in the eastern part of North Carolina.
Yeah, not everybody knows.
Right? Exactly. But yeah, no, I had a dream of playing professional basketball from the time I was like 3 years old, and I just love to play the game. Yeah. I'm athletic, so I was able to be on the court and be on the field and be on the baseball diamond and all those types of things, even on the track. But basketball just brought me a different type of joy. You know what I mean? So I was fortunate enough to know what I wanted to do with my life at an early age, and then I was able to kind of hone in and really try to pursue that. So I stood out in high school, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. Yeah. Went on to college to, in my opinion, the best university in the world, North Carolina A&T, Aggie Pride. Played well there, and we'll talk about that some too. And then turned pro, and was able to have a professional basketball career in which I played at all levels, even the highest one, for 15 years. So it's been a blessing, man. And then I retired from the game. I've been retired almost 6-7 years now.
It doesn't even feel like that, though.
Yeah. So I own companies right now in the healthcare industry, in the sports industry, and in the real estate industry. I'm super excited about the life I get to live every day, man. It's been a real blessing.
Let's start from basically step one. Like, how did you know that you wanted to play basketball and that was going to be the sport that you wanted to play?
Yeah, so I got 2 older brothers who are like 6 years older than me. They're twins. So they used to play basketball around the house all the time. And I just remember watching them and not being able to play and being dribbling on the side. And I just had so much fun with the basketball. You know, it was one of those things where, and it's just probably going to sound cliche-ist, but it was one of those things where, like, no matter what was going on, if I was happy, if I was sad, if I had stress, I could grab the basketball and everything just kind of felt better. And that was from a young age. So, man, I just kind of gravitated towards it. And then middle school, when I actually played, that was when I played on my very first organized team. And in middle school, I was in the 7th grade, but man, we had a dominant 8th grade class. So typically, the year before, they had a dominant, 8th grade class. So it was like, no 7th graders. Number one, they barely make the team. And then number 2, they don't really play a lot.
Exactly.
But I was able to actually come in and tryouts and fight for a starting spot with a group of 8th graders. Like I said, was no doubt they were really really So that kind of opened my eyes a little bit. But the thing that really let me know I could do it is I went to a camp at Campbell University. It was my first basketball camp. But this was also the first experience that I had playing with players that I didn't know, like that wasn't in my neighborhood. Yeah,
that you haven't played with at all or don't know them.
Exactly. So now it was like in my mind, I'm like, let me see how I stack up against these other kids. And man, I was killing. You know what I'm saying? And this was like with no formal training, no working out. It's just me playing the game. And I never forget Rodney Rogers, which is a North Carolina legend, probably the best basketball player to ever play in North Carolina by most people's standards. And then Bobby Hurley, who was a point guard for Duke. I know you're a Duke fan, you know what I'm saying? So you probably know who that is.
Of course.
They were the speakers at the camp. And both of them was like, yo, if you want to play pro ball, you better start now. And I was like, shoot, all right, cool. So from that camp, you know what I'm saying, I came back home and I just started putting in the work. Like, it was crazy because I remember at that age, people were laughing at me. You know what I'm saying? They was thinking I was crazy. Number one, because I was saying I was going to play pro ball. But then number 2, like I used to wake up every morning, like 5 o'clock in the morning and go down to the park and shoot 100 free throws every morning. You know what I'm saying? And like, my friends were seeing me do it, but they could still beat me in 21 a little bit from time to time. I was like, oh man, you doing all that for nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? You still can't beat me, that type of thing. But, you know, lo and behold, you know what I'm saying, tide started turning.
That was step one of getting what they call over your competition.
Exactly. Separating myself,
separating
right? Yeah, that was part one of it. Yeah, and from there, man, I just stuck at it and went after it.
Yeah, so we can touch up on a little bit, but you said you played football as well, and you played baseball. Like, how was that?
Oh man, I loved all sports. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I had fun just being active.
Yeah.
So I'm actually in the Hall of Fame in my high school. I don't know if I still have it, but I used to have the record. As far as I know, I still got the record for the most receptions in school history and the most receiving yards as a football player, East Duplin. And that's saying a lot because East Duplin has a very rich football history. Like, we had some really good football teams. We just won a state championship this past year. Just go ahead and throw that out there so y'all know who the best team in the state is, 2A. But shout out to those boys for doing that. And then, baseball was fun as well. And then because I could do a little bit of everything, the track coach had me come out for track because it was also an opportunity for me to get stronger, get faster, that type of thing to kind of help with the potential of going to play ball. I was recruited in every sport, you know, except for track. So I was recruited in basketball, football, and baseball. But obviously, basketball was my love.
So fast forward, we're at college now.
Okay.
Let's talk about how college basketball was.
Yeah.
Because think about it, you were in school, what, 22, 21 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a while.
23?
You know what I'm saying? So so college was different, man, because so coming out of high school, I was ranked I think it was 16 out of the top 100 players in high school. And man, I got to A&T and I was the worst player on the team. Like I literally my freshman class. So just to give you a little bit of background, my freshman class was ranked I think like top 5 in the country.
Wow.
Even though we were A&T, but you know, so the way they ranked it back then was who has the strongest class for the level of that you're at, right? Yeah. So Duke, I think were like number 1. They had a really strong class. I want to say like Temple or somebody was like number 2, and then we were like 3 or 4. Yeah. So we had like 3 players who were supposed to go high D1, and for whatever reason they failed to go to A&T, and then we had Mr. North Carolina, Anthony Debro. Shout out to you, Debro. He went to A&T, and then if I'm being honest, like I was recruited late. You know what I'm saying, by A&T, and I just kind of like was able to fall into that class. Yeah. So I'm in the Slam magazine, like I'm in, because we did a big old spread in the Slam magazine. And Slam was huge at the time. So I'm in there and I'm part of that class. But bro, them dudes was really good, man. So it was kind of a shell shock for me because when I got there, I couldn't get no buckets on nobody, and like we used to play pickup. And we would go to 7, so we had to play defense.
Oh yeah, for sure.
1s and 2s, right? So games had to go quick, and games had to be competitive.
Because you can hit a 2, a 2, and a 1.
Exactly, you're off the court before you know it. So you got to D up from the beginning. But it was crazy because every time it was game point, they would just, if I was playing, they would just give the ball to the guy I was guarding, and he would get a bucket on it. So it was funny because we'd be in the cafeteria. And all the players on the team would be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to be this and I'm going to do that. And then everybody would be like, yo, JJ, you probably going to redshirt this year, you know what I'm saying, but you'll get your weight up and stuff, you'll be good later on. And I'm thinking to myself, like, nah, man, coach ain't tell me I was going to redshirt, you know what I'm saying, nah, I ain't redshirting. But, you know, I've always been practical, you know what I'm saying, even from a young kid. Yeah. I was like, yo, these guys are better than me, so I got to figure out something that I'm going to be able to do, that even the playing field. Yeah. So I used to go to the gym, and if we had practice twice, I practiced 4 times. You know what I'm saying? If we lifted weights once, I go back and lift again. So I was like doubling up or tripling up on everything in the preseason. And I'll never forget, man, this is a long story. I'm going to try to get out of this quick. I'll never forget the starting point guard at the time. His name was Jonathan Richmond. He was cold, bro. Like, I'm telling you, like, I have no problem giving props to players that hoop. You know, that's just who I am. He could hoop. Yeah. And I'll never forget, I had the next, so you know how you got next. Well, he was coming in from class. He hadn't been in the gym or nothing, so there was no way he could have next. Yeah. But he came in and was like, yo, I'm playing next. I was like, nah, I got ups. You got to get after me. He jumped me, and the players that was on my team was like, nah, we got Jonathan. You can play whenever. You know what I'm saying? And yo, I just got hot.
Yeah.
But I had been working, you know what I'm saying? This is
Yeah.
after I started doing all the extra
Yeah.
stuff. So I was like, yeah, all right, I hope you win too. I hope you win. I was hot, man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, I kind of like forgot about everything else at that point, about who was supposed to be good, who was supposed to be bad. Now I was just kind of focused. I'm gonna show these guys,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, that I belong here. And we were going to 7. The very next game, I got on the court, scored all 7 points, and we won.
Yeah.
And
And what
like,
they say.
whoa, yo, that dude was mad. Boy, y'all ain't gonna take this run no more. I bet y'all won't try to take Jay run no more. And like, you know what I'm saying? But for me, that was an eye opener.
Yeah.
Right? Because then it was like, oh, wait a minute, I can do this.
Yeah.
And I just kept that same type of work ethic. It's like, yo, I'm just gonna outwork everybody because this is where my confidence comes from. And when
Yeah.
I'm confident, I can do anything. So that was kind of like, boom, what took me
Yeah.
off. So I went from potentially being red-shirted, right, to
Yeah.
getting A&T Rookie of the Year that year. Had a really strong season, made the All-Rookie team in the conference. And from there, man, sky was the limit. You know what I'm saying?
So, after all these accolades, what you know the next step was?
Yeah, but you know, I knew I wanted to play in the NBA.
Yeah.
It's a funny story though. My mom has this list that I made when I was like 12 or 13, and everything that I said on the list, I checked off in life, right?
Yeah.
But I never said I wanted to play in the NBA. Like on the list, it was just I wanted to be a pro basketball player.
Yeah.
I was, you know what I'm saying, an All-American candidate. You know what I'm saying, I was Black College All-Star. So coming out of college, I did have some interest with NBA teams. A&T hadn't really had anybody that was on that radar for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So my college coach at the time, there's this thing called Portsmouth Invitational Tournament. All the best players go to that, and then they go from there and potentially get drafted to go to the NBA. Well,
what is that now? Like what would
I think it's still the PIT.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's still the same thing now. I don't think that it holds as much weight now as it did because there's so many different.
There's so many
avenues
different
to go
routes
now.
that you can go.
But yeah. So anyway, long story short, I missed that invitation because the deadline had typically been January 31st, but this particular year they moved it up to December 31st. So it kind of hurt me a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I think if I would have been able to perform the way I was playing on that stage, I probably would have got drafted, I think. But I was able to go overseas my first year because I went to the pre-draft camps and stuff in Chicago, killed it, and got my first contract. And then Atlanta, Milwaukee, and Memphis, I think it was. They were all on me at the time before I left college anyway. So that's when I came back after my first year pro, that's when Atlanta invited me in for training camp, and I put in work.
Since like you put in the work and it's starting to show off and everything, and you had your first year overseas and everything, did you know that was where you wanted to be at?
I knew I wanted to hoop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I knew I wanted to make money playing the game of basketball. That was my goal from pretty much day one.
Yeah.
So I think like for me at first, like my first 5 years playing pro overseas, I did well. You know what I'm saying? I continued to climb the ladder, make more money, get into bigger clubs. But every year, man, I was coming home trying to make the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, so I was playing year round, bro. I'd leave Europe and then get on the NBA circuit for the all summer. And then literally, man, I'd come off like the last workout with NBA teams, home for like 2 or 3 days, and then I'm flying back out to Europe.
Yeah.
So when I made the decision to focus on Europe, that's when my professional career in Europe just took off. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool.
So back with another segment. Now we're getting towards you retiring. Now, the next step, like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. So you know what? For me, I kind of made my decision that I was gonna own my own companies probably before I even went pro.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it was always a situation of owning. That was part of the dream, part of the list that I mentioned that I wrote down for my mom when I was like 12 or 13. But it's a funny situation how things work out. I remember getting MVP of the league in 2011, and I went into negotiations with the team to renegotiate my contract for the following year. And the owner of the team, you know, was sitting at a table kind of like this. He was on the other side of the table. The general manager was there, and then my agent was on a conference call, and obviously I'm in the room too. And I just got MVP. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, this about to be, we going after the bag. You know what I'm saying? And the owner was like, yeah, this is what we're gonna pay JJ, not a dime more. And like what he offered me was still gonna put me at like, I don't know, like 15th in the league in terms of highest paid players in the league. I'm
But
like,
you
I
just got MVP,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? So I was like really dejected, you know, saying discouraged. My agent's like, yeah, you gotta be kidding. There's no way you gonna be doing that. So, long story short, I ended up getting a better deal in another country, making the money I wanted to make. So it all worked out. But in my mind right then, I was like, yo, you know what? I can't allow these owners to put me in a box.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time for me to start thinking about what I want to do after basketball.
Yeah, and that's for everybody. Like all the upcoming athletes, like take all this advice that he's giving you because he's been in that position for like 20 years. He was in that position for 20 years. So he knows the ins and the outs. So whatever he's telling you, just listen because it's just advice for you to not, you know, be stuck in the next step if you don't know. So, yeah, like owning your business and everything. What was the first business that you kind of had in order?
Peaceful Living Home. Well, I guess my first business technically was Hoopers Elite Basketball Services.
Mm-hmm.
So I started training and working with kids really because it's something I wanted to do. I've always been the type of person to give back, even with the stuff I'm saying now. Like I believe in giving free game, you know what I'm saying? Because knowledge is power, and if I can help somebody have an easier route than I did, then I definitely want to share, you know, the information that I have. And there was a situation where in the summer, I used to work out like crazy, you know what I'm saying? And like, I was at the YMCA, and a few kids that was, you know, probably, you know, 4th, 5th, 6th grade, 7th grade, they used to come in the gym and watch me work out, and then they would try to do the stuff that I was doing on the sidelines. And then one day I was like, yo, man, you know what? Let me help you figure out how to go between the legs here. Let me give you some stuff that's gonna help you. I can practice on your own. And I fell in love with it. I was like, yo, seeing this, you know, progression of these kids that I'm helping. So, you know, obviously my time is very valuable. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna put together a small package for a few kids. I'm gonna charge them a lot, but it's got to be something. And I started working with kids and doing camps and clinics. So Hoopers Elite Basketball was kind of born organically through wanting to give back. And man, now today I have, you know, hundreds of kids in my programs, and it's just kind of exploded. So that was like a side hustle that turned into a business, right? But my main business that's like the breadwinner is Peaceful Living Home Care. That's probably my most gratifying business that I do because I help families, help people, our clients. So what we do is we provide in-home care services for senior citizens so they can remain independent and comfortable at home for as long as they want to, right? If they want to transition at home, we make it happen. And that's really been really gratifying for me because my grandmother needed those services, right? So going back to, you know, when they tried to put me in a box in 2011, well, in 2012, that's when my grandmother really her health started deteriorating. And I saw the struggles that my aunts and my brothers and my family had with making sure she was taken care of. So I was like, yo, there's got to be a better way of providing these types of services and making it possible for people to do it. So, man, I started the blueprint in, man. I started in between practice, working on policies, procedures, logos, you know, models, and, you know, everything that we're trying to do.
There's a lot to put in.
Yeah, it's a lot of work up front for sure. You know what I mean? So, long story short, man, I retired in 2016, and I hit the ground running. And in my second year, man, my company was acknowledged as being one of the top 100 small businesses in the country, which was amazing. It was unexpected, right? But again, same type of concept, right? Putting the work in, staying committed and dedicated to what you're trying to do. Now, you know, we're no longer a small business, you know what I'm saying? So I can provide and do things for my family. It was good. And then the real estate company just kind of came across because, again, me and my business partner just wanted to give back. So we do everything when it comes to real estate in terms of refurbishing distressed homes, to resell them, to renting out properties, to Airbnb, to landscaping, all that type of stuff. So we want to make it more accessible for people to be able to experience home ownership, right? So even though we might refurbish a home and can sell it for hypothetically, let's say $200,000, we'll be willing to do it for $180 or $170, you know, something like that. So we don't have to make all the lion's share of the money if we can help a family be able to get a home.
I was, I guess you could say, your protege in the
Facts.
Hoopers Elite. I would say that I've gotten a whole lot better in just going through the programs and stuff, yeah, I knew how to play basketball, but I didn't know the mechanics and all the techniques. Like I didn't. I was still shooting with two hands when I first.
I'm gonna say this, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't just saying this because you're my nephew or because I'm on your podcast, but like I truly believe that you're one of those type of people that can do anything you want to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I always recognize when I'm in the presence of greatness and great potential.
Yeah.
Like the work you put in and the commitment you had, even with basketball, like the way you shoot the ball today, I like to take credit for it. But no, you put in the work, you put in the discipline. Like you shoot the ball as good as any player that I've ever trained. So yeah, man, you definitely were one of those that kind of helped my stuff grow, because what happens is players saw you and they saw where you were, and then they also see how you were after you worked with me, right?
Exactly.
So that's the best marketing and advertising that you can get. So I appreciate you.
There would have been times where like I would like be playing with somebody and they'd be like, yo, I was playing with you last year. This wasn't it.
Right.
How'd you do that? And then I would tell them, hey, look, I've been training with my uncle nonstop. Like I get in the gym when I can. We'll get some shots up when I can, just anything when I can. And that's also another step too, because when I graduated high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do for the summer. So, but then you allowed me to play on your AAU team.
Facts. Yeah.
So you want to touch up on that? So,
Yeah. So I direct Pro Skills Basketball Raleigh. So PSB is a national leader in youth basketball. We're one of only 14 other programs in the country that the NBA has put its stamp of approval on, right? So we're part of the junior NBA flagship program. And what we do is we have teams that compete at a club level, but we have a comprehensive program, right? No knock on AAU, right? Because we play in some AAU tournaments and they're competitive, but we just have a different spin on it, right? We want to make sure we're actually pouring into our players and developing them holistically, right? So you're not going to come to us and just play in tournaments, right? You're going to get practice, you're going to get camps, you're going to get clinics, you're going to get mental aspects of the game, but also you're going to get everything from recruiting advice, and we've got national recruiting directors to help put our players in the best situation to go to college. And at the end of the day, we're pouring life skills into the players that come into our program through the game of basketball, right? So we don't fly in players just to play on the team for one weekend. Like, that's not something we do. I don't care if Bronny came into town. Bronny, as you know, is really good. Maybe one of the best. It's LeBron's son. But he still wouldn't be able to play on one of our programs because we're committed to the players that we have. Whatever that might mean, right? That might mean we might get beat by 20. We might beat somebody by 20. But those are our players. These are the players that we're focused on and helping get better. And it's been awesome, man. Like, that year that you played with us, your team overachieved. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody expected y'all to win some of the tournaments you did or even be in some of the championship games that you were. And some players got some looks out of that.
Now we got probably one of the hardest segments, I should say. Be truthful, be honest. I know it's gonna hurt some people, but top 5 that you played with.
Yeah, man.
And you can either include yourself or you can not include yourself.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, we saying playing with, or you mean on the same court?
Yeah,
at the same time?
On the same court. You need 5.
I need 5.
You need 5.
So, I mean, I guess this ain't gonna be too hard. I don't think there's gonna be too much argument because these players are really great. I have, first of all, to all my teammates, y'all can hoop. All right, you know what I'm saying? But I had the opportunity to play against Penny Hardaway, who's the coach for Memphis now. Obviously, he played with Shaq. And he was really great. You know what I'm saying? So he was as advertised, even though it was later in his career. So he's got to be in the top 5. I played against Chris Paul, who's still doing it at a high level in the league. So he was the ultimate competitor. Duke, your guy Jay Williams. He was Jason Williams in college, but he changed his name. Ultimate competitor. You know what I'm saying? And then I played against Vince Carter. And Vince, as you know, one of the best players to ever touch the ball. Or even
dunk the ball.
Or even the best dunker, no question. He's the best dunker ever. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna put a guy in there that I don't know how many people might know this guy. Maybe not a lot of people do, but his name is Marseille Brown, and he played at Hampton. And all these are players that I played against. You know what I'm saying? So just kind of from a competitive nature. Marseille was one of the toughest players. He played at Hampton University. He was one of the toughest players I played against in college because he really knew how to play the game, and he was very efficient. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, he was tough.
Let's say you get put in a movie. You get put in Space Jam 3 or whatever, right?
Okay, all right.
And it's the regular Space Jam squad, but you're the Monstars.
Okay.
It's you and 4 other guys. Who are you bringing with you?
Oh, okay. All right.
That you can either, or I should say, you play with or played against as in that conversation as well.
Oh, okay.
So this can be any summer league that you played into, because I know you
Okay.
played in a couple of those. You need 4 guys.
All right. But can I choose anybody that played in the NBA before too, or just guys that I played with?
Just guys you played with.
Okay. All right. Cool. So all right, I played with a center, well actually a power forward / center named Kelvin Gibbs. He played at Pepperdine University. He's probably about 6'7", 6'8", but he got long arms, so really he almost like 6'11".
Okay.
Could catch it, could shoot it, could post up, could defend. So I'm gonna take him.
All right, that's your 4.
All right, and then
And I'm guessing you're at the 1.
I'm at the point.
Okay, you're at the 1.
Yeah, I'm at the point. And then I am going to take I got a center that I played with for most of my career named Mike Palm, 7-footer, lights out shooter.
Yeah.
Good hands. He ain't gonna need nothing but do whatever the team needs.
Yeah.
That's the type of player he is.
Okay.
So I got him. So
that's
those
the
are my
5.
bigs.
All right, now you need your wings.
All right, Vince Carter.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna have him. I don't know athletically who gonna be able to handle that. And then
Last one.
last one I need a scorer. I need some size. I'm gonna take Penny, the original Penny, though,
Okay.
like the Penny that was with Shaq.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm gonna take
Okay.
him. So that's a tough squad against anybody.
Yeah, honestly. I need top 5 all time in order.
Oh, top 5 all time. I've been asked this question a whole lot.
In order
You know
too.
what I'm saying? In order.
In
Okay,
order.
so I'm gonna go ahead and just preface this with the fact that I know there's gonna be some controversial statements here,
And he is a little older too, so.
and I can back up everything
Yeah.
and the reason why too. So I'm gonna give you.
Okay.
I like to be that type of guy.
Okay.
So first, when I think about greatest of all time, I'm not just thinking about stats.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking about like how you affected the game,
Yeah.
like how you played and presented yourself against other great players,
Yeah.
and all that type of stuff, right? So number 1 for me is Michael Jordan.
Okay.
I don't think anybody else can knock him off the top in my eyes.
Yeah.
I think he was a competitor. I think his stats is there. I think he was a winner. And all the other stuff that go along with Mike.
Yeah.
All right, 2 and 3 are interchangeable.
Okay.
Okay. Kobe and LeBron.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right, so
that's just.
Kobe, I think, is cut from the same cloth as Mike.
Yep.
Just the way he approached the game, the dominance that he had, and kind of like he instilled some fear in some people too. He didn't care. LeBron, I think what he's been able to do is undeniable.
Yeah.
Right. I think
He's still playing to this day.
he's still playing at a high level,
Yeah.
right? And too, if I'm being honest, the thing that really impresses me about LeBron is we can't forget they put the crown on his head at like 12 or 13 years old, and he's never disappointed,
Yeah.
right? So he's 2 or 3, whichever one I don't.
And
mind
just
when you
people
put that.
person too. Like
Yeah,
LeBron
yeah.
is doing all these advertisements, everything. He's
Oh
for
yeah,
people.
he's amazing, man. Yeah, he's amazing. So so that's 3.
You're
okay?
4 and 5.
All right, so 4 I got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The reason I got him over some of the other bigs is because I saw him play a little bit more. And my dad used to always be like, "Yo, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, can't nobody stop a sky
Yeah.
hook." And he was just dethroned for the most points of all time
Exactly.
by LeBron, right? So I got him in there. And then this is gonna be the controversial one.
Okay.
I'm gonna back it up, but number 5 for me is Tim Duncan.
I mean, I wouldn't say that's because I would say he's the best power forward to ever play the game.
That's I believe he's the best power forward to ever play the game. And here's my thing with Tim Duncan. When he played against all the other so-called best power forwards or players, he dominated the same way. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't just put up numbers against mediocre players.
Yeah.
He was doing that against everybody. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So for me, his efficiency, the way he approached the game, and he was also like durable. He like played. So yeah, so that's my 5, man. Mike, Kobe, LeBron, Kobe,
However it
Kareem
is.
Abdul-Jabbar, and then Tim Duncan.
Yeah, with also to add to like the Tim Duncan aspect, like he's not like these other power forwards nowadays. He's not gonna jump to you.
Right.
He might say something to you right here, but he gonna let his game talk.
Exactly.
And the thing that I love about Tim Duncan is that Spurs team and him took down the first, I would like to say, super team
Yeah.
ever created.
Yeah.
But
And then too, the Spurs didn't start winning until Tim Duncan got there.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So he changed that around.
Yeah,
man.
he
So
kind
that
of
was
flipped
dope.
it around.
That was dope.
Well,
I'm gonna say this real quick.
Oh, go
though.
ahead.
I'm gonna say this real quick. Steph Curry, he's right outside.
he's higher than what people expect.
I think by the time it's all said and done, he gonna be in my top 5. Steph
And I wouldn't even put Steph Curry in there because of, let's say, not even scoring titles. I'm not putting him in there. Game has changed because everybody wants to shoot threes now.
Boom.
And he's changed that. Like, I wouldn't even be mad if somebody puts him in the top 5.
Yeah.
Because
man,
of the evolution that he's been creating. He's allowing 7-foot bigs to actually get a jump shot. So,
Exactly. He definitely changed the game. Shout out to Mark Jackson because Mark Jackson was the coach.
Yeah.
That, you know what I'm saying? Allowed it to happen. So yeah, nah, that's cool.
all right, so any encouraging words for anybody out there, whether they're an athlete, entrepreneur, or anything? You just got one little take, I guess you could say.
Yeah, go after your dreams. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got something that you really want to do, regardless of how, you know what I'm saying, daunting or of a task it might be, go after it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. If you can't steal second with your foot on first base. You know what I'm saying? So for me, man, if
I
you
like
got
that.
something to dream, go after that dream,
Yeah.
man, and don't let nobody deter you if this is really what you want, and just go get it.
Last segment, I like to do this. Just a little quick rapid fire questions.
All right.
I'll ask you, it's either this or that type of thing.
Okay.
Stay in or go out?
Today I'm staying in at my age now, man. I'm staying in.
Fly or super strength?
Fly.
Travel past or future?
Future.
Does pineapples belong on pizza?
No. Absolutely not.
Vacation or staycation?
Vacation.
Favorite brand?
In terms of clothing or
Anything.
Nike.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Favorite shoe of all time?
Jordans.
Okay. You got a preferred number?
Oh man, I got a few. I
Okay,
like
go
the
ahead.
4s.
Yep.
I like the 7s,
Mm-hmm.
and I like the 11s.
Okay. Favorite color?
Blue.
If you didn't play basketball, what sport would you play?
Baseball, probably. Yeah.
Okay. And there's another. What's your favorite hobby?
Golf. Golf. Actually, you know what? Maybe I take baseball back, and I'm gonna be a
Become-
PGA.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, golf.
Would you rather get crossed over or dunked on?
Dunked on, because at my size, they don't really matter. I'm a small fry anyway.
Okay. Loyal to a team and never win a championship, or be hated for not being loyal but you have 3 rings?
Loyal to the team, man. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I want to beat the people there.
Yeah.
I want to beat them. So,
Yeah, regardless.
Yeah.
Favorite artist?
J. Cole.
Okay. And last but not least, favorite basketball player of yours?
So my favorite basketball player right now
Mhm.
is Steph Curry.
Okay.
My favorite basketball player growing up was the old Isaiah Thomas.
Okay.
My
Well-
bad. I don't mean old in a bad way, Isaiah. You know what I'm saying? The experienced first real Isaiah Thomas from the Detroit Pistons.
Well, that has concluded with my special guest today, JJ Miller, former basketball player, entrepreneur. He's a great uncle, great family man, just great all around. So I appreciate you
Man,
for being on the
thanks for
show,
having me,
of
man.
course.